Non-duality. I was just waiting for videos to upload on my page, praying to gosh darn heck I do okay at work tomorrow with Oliver, not work, but, picking kids up from school. Resting, and started to remember about school and boredom. So the reward system, attention, not so separate, not so, far-fetched to be a little bit interconnected. You get your stimulus, your object, you show someone, and then you get the reward of them saying, oh, that makes sense. Or the boredom, frustration, the other reaction from the brain, the body, and mind, going down to the heart, the breath, and back up again to the top. And on its way, from the bottom all the way up, it goes through the brainstem and like a lightning bolt. Or for me, as it gets late in the day and I've done a bunch of school stuff, or I've been with kids, taking care of them and cooking for them, and I get home and I'm like, oh. And that different part of the whole body, with the brain, the mind, and the body as a whole, human in the world. Me, for example. And, not making sense because, the person's, incorrect in what they're describing. Doesn't have to be the only choice a person decides. The reward can be discovery of knowing what's not correct. The reward can be going back to the books with excitement and vigor. Now you know where to go. But what happens if a person lies and you are correct? Then you get confused. And when you go back to your book and you find out, well, you were actually correct, but the social, interaction you had was incorrect. And philosophically, a million words for a video talking about social, correctness, social responsibility, social neuroscience, a whole series of videos. And the power involved, and the control involved, and the love on occasion. Or more often, for some people, and for other people, different circumstances, whatever. So then you have an emotion, and after the emotion could be boredom, could be anger, could be drugs. And also could be the person saying you're correct, you know, could could say, you know, incorrect, incorrect, correct, incorrect, correct, incorrect, correct, incorrect, correct. And there could be tons of different outcomes from one simple spontaneous interaction with another human in the world. And so the reward and the stimulus, they can be not only what's expected, but can be tragic. When some people get bored, they go and, you know, blast music until they fall, you know, unconscious, and not from a concussion, unless they've got like 1,000-watt headphones, which I've never seen before. Those would be crazy. I'd never go near them. I'd be so scared. But that loud, you know, it goes down. And then back up to the consciousness and the, you know, hallucinations and the rave and the lights and the, you know, visual experience and the consciousness they can see without it even existing in front of their eyes as an object or a real phenomenon or a real part of reality. Except the reality gets to be tricky, because the reality does actually, you know, have a place with time and inside, you know, space and the world, except located inside the brain, but only the seer, the hallucinator, the visionary thinking person, the imagination, the, you know, trance-induced, psychedelic voyager. In some traditions, they say the journey gets seen by only the person doing the listening and the seeing. So non-duality, with the fluctuations with the reward system going all the way to a drug-like experience with the music and the visualization from the brain, and maybe to the mind also, if, you know, they're an artist who gets their imaginary images for their paintings or their drawings from what they see, from what they hear in their world, maybe their home. And then there's people who go and smoke drugs and eat drugs and swallow pills and drink liquor and do tons of cigarette smoking, you know, tobacco-filled cigarettes. And the duality with those separate kinds of rewards and stimulus, because you've got a reward of the painting or the drawing or the beauty of the art, and the harmlessness within someone's world like my ashram. And you also have that drug induced human in the world. Maybe in an ashram, maybe not causing any problems for anyone around them, but not as good for a body, a brain, and a mind going up and then back down smoothly so that they're not in the habit of, a, a behavior or gesture like this. It's freaky, it's like, okay, but trying to buy groceries with that kind of choice and habit are much more difficult than someone who's done maybe some mushrooms or some LSD or, some marijuana, who maybe aren't hallucinating anymore, but they're still a little jittery. And they know their body, they know their brain and mind, and they know up. And they know down, but they've got to always remember, you can't just go up and then just keep it there and just lock in and go, go, go until you start seeing stuff again, and then boom, boom. You run into a little child or something who's still growing, or the security starts to see you just, because here in Seattle, Washington, they protect places with attention and awareness and pay attention to visually identifiable, recognizable signals. Eyesight, voice, posture. And eye contact. Extreme circumstances, pupils, dilation, focus, concentration. And the non-duality with these separate options, like the hands, where you can eat the banana with this hand, or you can grab the cup of coffee with this hand, to use the Minions as an example. The non-duality has to do with choosing, not being, forced to be healthier and choose the lesser of two bad choices, and knowing there's not only two choices, a lesser drug, a more intense drug for boredom, for reward, for stimulus, and to achieve happiness. Meditation, yoga, walking meditation, sitting meditation, breathing exercises, mindfulness with the sound to make you, aware and have good attention, keep you from not remembering all of the choices. End part 1.